This segment is sponsored by Mount Pleasant Magazine. Spread some island love by voting for your favorite restaurants, events, and businesses. Here with more, we have Mac Finch and Bill Maschio. Good to see both of you.
Thanks, Aaron.
We're talking about Sullivan's Island, Isle of Palms today. Both have their own magazines.
Yes,
you guys.
you get right here, and then you flip it.
I love it.
Isn't that cool?
That's so cool. I love those. When they had those kids when I was a kid, they had those books like that.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Right.
So what are some of your favorite articles talking about the islands?
Well, in the Sullivan's Island side, I love We Are Sullivan's Island.
Right.
I think it's really good. But I'm real excited, Aaron, to have this guy with me.
Yeah.
He got his dad and his family developed wild dudes.
Okay.
And he lived on the island, and he did a great story in the Isle of Palm side about it living there as a 12-year-old.
Wow.
Isn't that awesome?
Bill approached you. Is that how it happened? Asked you to write an article?
Bill approached me. I've been writing for several years, just basically for myself. And I'm a yacht captain.
Okay.
So I spent several months a year in the Bahamas and different places, and the easiest way to stay in touch with everybody was just to write and post.
That's cool.
And it kind of grew. And Bill came to me right at the right time because somebody that I'd been running a boat for had passed away. And the last conversation I had with him, he told me, he said, you know, you need to tell your own story, because if you don't, somebody else is going to tell it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So about a week after that, Bill called me and asked me if I'd write for him, and I said I would.
And I'm glad you have.
It was perfect timing, right? Is that your article right there?
That's one. He's got two articles.
You have
in this
two
year.
articles.
That's it. That right there is the day in the life of a boat captain.
That's cool.
Very cool.
So I want to go back to, you said when you were 12, growing up on Sullivan's Islands.
Isle of Palms.
I'm sorry, Isle of Palms. A lot has obviously changed.
A lot have changed. A lot has changed, and it was really a magical place to grow up, because the people that were there was what made it so special. I mean, it was wonderful, the water, the beaches, and all of that. But every parent on the island raised every kid on the island.
Right.
It was,
That's
you know,
very cool.
there were no doors locked. You walked in everybody's back door, and you know, it was just a big group.
Was it a childhood where you disappeared in the morning and mom didn't see you until dinner time? Like you were
Pretty
out
much
playing
so.
all day?
You know, you had certain areas that you had boundaries, ditches on the island that you weren't allowed to cross or whatever.
That's
but
funny.
you know, everybody knew. Neighbor across the street had an old cattle bell they would ring, and when you heard it, you knew it was time to come home.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Different parents had different whistles, and it was like a relay going down the island. You'd say, "I heard your parents calling you," and you know, you'd start heading home.
Yeah.
But it was street light time. Was time to go home. Then we played games at night in each other's yards.
That's wonderful.
Very little time spent inside.
Yeah.
No, I really appreciate you writing that article. It's really neat.
Well, yeah, and as a parent, you realize how much has changed, and our kids certainly don't have the freedom, I think, that they used to.
No, I was fortunate enough that I stayed on the island and raised my kids on the island, and I just moved off a couple years ago, and there's part of me that regrets it, but it was time.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, at one point in time, I walked out, my son was about 5 years old, and I said, "Son, you know, we may have to move just because of things were changing in life."
Right.
And he said, "Dad, sit down here." And I sat down. He said, "Listen to that." And I said, "What is that?" He said, "That's the ocean." He says, "I live anywhere I can sit on my porch and listen to that." And I was like, "Oh."
That's awesome.
So we stayed another 10 years.
Right. You couldn't move after that.
And actually, his first daughter was born and came home to that house.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
it's a pretty cool house, pretty cool living on the island.
Before we run out of time, very quickly, you're doing the best of the islands. People
Best
can go
of
on
the
and
islands
vote.
right there. See, it's up there right here. So we're doing kind of like in Mount Pleasant,
Yeah.
with best of Mount Pleasant and stuff. This is the best of the Isle of Palms and best of Sullivan's Island. So if you go to one of those websites right there, you can vote.
All right. When does the voting close?
The voting will close in January.
Okay, so you have a big window to vote. Thank you, guys. It was so nice meeting you.
Thank you.
I can't
Very
wait
nice
to read your
meeting you.
article. Bill, always
Thanks,
good to
Aaron.
see
Thanks
you.
for seeing us.
All right, go online, bestofiop.com, bestofsi.com to cast your votes. And we're back. We've got our furry friend of the day right after this.